And I also have more Nounish swag. See? Are we having a swag off right now? They love me. They really love me. Hold on. What else? What else
All
do
my
I got
really
here?
good swag is not in this particular room. I'm hiding out in the media lab at school, so
I got
nice.
Nami.
I love that one.
I don't think so. I think I have two
Whoa.
pieces.
Nice.
It's okay. I win the swag off, but you guys brought
You do.
you
Today.
brought a good game. And to be fair,
Today
Snax
you win the swag off.
Also, Snax is like in Germany,
He's on the
so
road.
I mean, yeah, we'll give him a break.
Yeah, I'm in this sweaty. I'm opening this door at the WeWork. I am now a pirate with the telephone booth open. So we'll see why I bother.
I mean, if you're in a video call, no one's gonna bother you. Nobody wants to interrupt the video call, so you should be okay.
This is important business, but then they'll see my nails and be like, "What is going on?"
You're like, is it important?
No, you know what they'll say? As soon as you walk
Hello.
out, they'll be like, "Hey, where did you get those glasses? I want some."
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm wearing plastic noggles and Buzz Lightyear earrings. Can you not see I'm in a business meeting here?
These are not plastic. These are Salvinos.
Welcome back to Zero Rights Reserved, a weekly podcast about nouns, DAOs, NFTs, Ethereum, and more, brought to you by the Noun Square Media Collective. I am, of course, your host, Tony Hawk, joined here again by my co-host, Prof. Werder, aka the Nounish Professor. Today we are hosting none other than the king of pizza himself, Snax, founder of Pizza DAO. What is up, Snax? Thank you for joining us all the way from Berlin.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I've been on a world pizza tour this month, so it's not even over.
That sounds amazing. Why are you in Berlin? Maybe we could start with that. I definitely want to get the backstory, like the Snax origin story, but we can start with just why are you in Germany right now?
So Pizza DAO has a pizza party tomorrow, and it's Berlin Blockchain Week. So it's like, it's a great time to be here, and all the VCs are in Asia, I think, at Token 2049, and all the builders, at least in this part of Europe, are here in Berlin.
Nice.
Right, because they were like, sushi, pizza. It was tough. It was a tough decision. And they decided
and you
to go
just
with
came
the pizza.
from Singapore, right? Or were you in Singapore?
Yeah, I was in Singapore. I may have to close this, actually, even though it gets a little sweaty in this little phone booth. I think I'm going to have to close it. I hear some background noise out there. Whoop. Okay.
All good. It seems it's sweaty snack.
It'll feel like I'm in Singapore again. I miss Singapore, I needed to close myself in this little box to get the humidity feels.
Singapore is fun. I was there for New Year's right before COVID, actually, and it was really fun. Yeah, it's a nice city.
It's very meticulously planned. It feels like Pokemon.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And don't chew your gum.
That must have been the inspiration.
Don't chew your gum. Don't make that mistake.
Yeah, I didn't have any gum, nor weed. I didn't have any weed there, which was very different for me.
If they'll put you in jail for gum, you definitely don't want to smoke weed, I don't think.
No, yeah, not acceptable.
All right, let's sort of rewind the clock. I want you to tell your story for people who are watching. What is the Snax journey? I'd love to hear about how you got into crypto, and we'll sort of walk through how you ended up in Berlin for Blockchain Berlin, having a pizza party.
Sure. So I dropped out of college in I guess 2010. I was going to Reed College in Portland. There's one other famous dropout, Steve Jobs, and I was living in a grow house, and I was very depressed. I was spending a lot of time online, and I was following with great. Really, I was very amused by Lulzsec hacking Sony. If you remember this was June 2011, and they hacked Sony, and then they started releasing these videos making fun of Sony, with like this little guy with a monocle and a glass of wine on a pirate ship, just talking trash on the security practices of large organizations. I thought it was so funny. And then they started to accept donations on this thing called Bitcoin. And so I had studied math before dropping out. So I read the white paper, and I basically took away, okay, this is currency backed by math. I'm in. Because it's pretty easy to agree on math. there's lots of stuff we don't agree on, but math, like, we could mostly agree on math. So I started to buy it at about $20 a Bitcoin.
It's funny you mentioned that about agreeing on math. I saw a video of Ricky Gervais, and he was on a night show, and he was talking to Colbert actually about why he doesn't believe in God. I don't know if you've ever seen this one, and he talks about how, well, Colbert kind of says, well, you're just believing all these science books. It's no different than you believing the Bible, because you read these science books and you're taking them at their word, because you're not, you don't have a doctorate in physics, so you don't know, except that you believe what you're reading. And then Gervais says, well, the difference with science books is that we could destroy all the science books today, and in 1,000 years, they'd all be back, because they're observations of things that are just exist in the universe. Anyway, that just reminded me of what you just said about math, which is like, you can't have an opinion about math. It doesn't matter. You could destroy all the math today, and in 1,000 years, it'll all be back.
Yeah, you have to get pretty deep into the depths of mathematics to start to have opinions about anything.
Yeah, fair. Awesome. So that's what attracted you to Bitcoin. And then what happened next?
So I would just have eureka moments every few months, like, oh my God, this is big, and I would just, buy more and get deeper into the community. And I started organizing Bitcoin meetups in Philadelphia in like 2013. Funny, it kind of came full circle, because we would meet up outside the Pizza Hut at the 30th Street train station in Philly, which is like our big train station. We would just push together a bunch of chairs, and it was like pretty punk. And we would talk about DAOs even back then in 2013. And we kind of thought they were like taxis that own themselves. We didn't realize that, like, we were the hands and feet of DAOs.
I mean, that's how it was supposed to be, right? I mean, they didn't end up being as autonomous as we thought, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, we didn't know that most DAOs weren't organized, autonomous, or decentralized.
Especially that last one. That last one can get really tough.
Yeah. So we were dreaming about it, and it was really fun. And then I guess fast forward to 2018, and my co-organizer of that meetup series took me to this historic event in New York, the Rare AF auction, which is where a Homer Pepe sold for $300,000. And actually, if you see the Pepe documentary, which is tremendous, the Feels Good Man doc, I'm actually in it for a split second in the crowd. You can see my South Philly beanie, and me watching what's going on. So I saw all the luminaries of NFTs speak in January of 2018, and then went home and I bought, like, I don't know, 13 Cryptopunks for $100 each. And yeah, and then I guess fast forward to 2020, some of my Philly friends who I knew from, I run this Facebook group in Philly called South Philly that has 13,000 members, and it's like this really force. It's super fun, and it's like this force in the community. And one of my friends who actually worked on the web series for the community with me, which is really cute, got me onto Clubhouse. And this was like before NFTs were really well known. So, and I knew everything about NFTs at that point. Now I don't, because there's so many. But at that point, I was really an expert, and I'm still an expert, but like the space is so huge.
At that point, it was possible to be an expert, right?
Correct. At that point, it was possible to know like everything, and I did. And so I just taught people on Clubhouse like 24/7 for a few months. I got on there in November, I believe, and there was this group, NFTs Tips, that I unintentionally spawned because I ran this room called NFTs are to objects as DAOs are to corporations. And it just kind of ran for 48 hours and was like a aha moment for, I think, hundreds of people. And then, so I had built this kind of community, and then Clubhouse started to get blown out. It started to be kind of like shilly and boring, and I was so frustrated. So I started running this room called The Room About Nothing, pirate flag rainbow emoji. And it was very, we would disrupt if anyone pulled any shilly nonsense, because like we did this thing called Mod the Squad. A really nice part of Clubhouse was that, like, unlike Twitter, which you can only have 3 hosts, in Clubhouse you can have as many as there are in the room. And so everyone on stage in my room was a mod, which,
Twitter Spaces would be
yeah,
better that way, to be honest. I think that's one thing that they could improve, or at least have more hosts. Like for 9 o'clock live, we would love to have 5, 6, 7 hosts.
right. It's like it's more egalitarian, and as a community manager, like and builder, like I really know that those little things are huge vibe shifts. So just that everyone in our rooms was a mod is a very different kind of a culture, and often it would actually result in our room getting mutinied and taken over by like some kids from somewhere who would send us all down to the audience and then lecture us, which was hilarious and fun. And then
Sounds like
but
a
like
DAO.
it was very DAO. It was very DAO, and the thing about the metaverse is that space is kind of free, so we could just make a new room. No big deal, no harm. Or maybe it was a good time to end, who knows. So I was kind of informed by South Philly, where I knew my whole neighborhood and like loved the local businesses and had made these 6 episodes of the web series that like highlighted the community. I went through COVID and I just watched everyone suffer, and it was heartbreaking, and places I loved closed, and everyone's neighborhood everywhere on earth was suffering. And I've always wanted to change the world with crypto. I've been thinking about it for, at that point, more than a decade already. And so I started to say something that would put people to sleep on Clubhouse, which was that we had to build blockchain-based accounting systems for small businesses so they could satisfy financial disclosures and tokenize.
I'm just kidding.
Yes, exactly. Like, what the hell does that mean?
Now, see, that would wake me up. Yeah, I would be wide awake with that. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So some people maybe got it, but like, I switched my narrative and I started talking about Pizza DAO because I realized that I could kind of accomplish a lot of the same goals, but in the context of pizza, which is a much stronger meme than that, gobbledygook of a sentence that I just rolled out. And additionally, we have like Bitcoin Pizza Day, this tremendous piece of history, which, like time to pizza is a good measure of any currency. Like, when can you buy pizza with this? Is it real? So Laszlo bought pizza with it, right, in 2011 on May 22nd. Actually, wait, it was 2010. I'm sorry, I can't get that wrong.
Can you double click on
right.
that? What is Bitcoin Pizza Day that you're just talking about? For someone who's never heard of that before, perhaps.
Okay, so Bitcoin Pizza Day, and it is 2010. Let me be clear, because I don't want to get that wrong. I was stuck in 2011 when I learned about it.
You'll get canceled. You'll get canceled.
I don't want to get canceled. I want Laszlo to be my friend ultimately, so I can't be besmirching his legacy here. So he went on Bitcoin Talk, which was this forum I actually spent a lot of time on in 2011. Just talking about what we were doing with Bitcoin, like what is it? And he was like, I want to exchange 10,000 Bitcoin for pizza. And everyone said, nobody wants your Bitcoin, man. Nobody. And so he waited 2 days, I think, to get this pizza. And finally, this guy, Stanley Turdivant, who people don't know his name, but I think he's an important part of the story. He said, I'll buy you your pizza, And so Laszlo sent him 10,000 Bitcoin. And then Stanley turned around and went to Papa John's, called Papa John's, and bought Laszlo 2 pizzas, which he shared with his family. And that was the first Bitcoin transaction. So 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. They were Papa John's pizzas, not the best pizza, but pizza nonetheless. And that, without that transaction, who knows where we'd be. So very important moment.
This is what they call utility, right? I think.
Utility. And I even think of it like philosophically, I think of it like as the metaverse kind of like reaching into the physical world and saying pizza, because like this is the first time that crypto like actually touched the real world. So super important. And I could draw on that wonderful lore to make Pizza DAO, which our kind of rallying cry. We had a bunch, we would say like, what does pizza want? That was what we'd say. Pizza's the boss. That's what a DAO does. You put a word in front of DAO and then it's the boss. Like, I don't know what nouns want.
Absurdity. Absurdity is the boss.
No, I don't. I think it's meaning.
I don't know.
For
For me, nouns equals absurdity because like in a world where everyone's trying to make a collection of like some animal, nouns is just like, how about, a can of Spam or a void, or so it's kind of
or
like
potato.
But it's like, but if we ask what does pizza want, right? Like, what does pizza want?
What does it?
Wants to
I
be
don't know.
eaten.
You tell me.
It wants to be eaten. That's what everyone says. It wants to be eaten. It wants to be eaten. So
has anyone asked pizza?
It's hard. I haven't been on the set of Spaceballs. I would have asked Pizza the Hut. To be eaten. But like, I don't know, if we ask what do nouns want, and I've actually never asked myself that before, but what tumbled out just now for me was to mean something, and that feels good.
I think a noun wants to fund public goods. Last time I
think
talked
so
to
too.
it.
Yeah.
Do some good in the world.
That also makes it
change the world with crypto.
For me, I think it's mean something. I'm gonna keep this one up. This is a strong meme. I'm gonna push it. So thanks for helping me discover that one just now. But so anyway, Pizza DAO. We said, okay, we're gonna throw a global pizza party on Bitcoin Pizza Day, and that's just an amazing thing because pizza's everywhere, the internet's everywhere, the blockchain's everywhere, and there are no global holidays. Like Christmas isn't global, New Year's isn't global. There's no global holiday. So Pizza Day, and I was kind of talking about this stuff. And then hash masks came out. If you remember hash masks, and they were like a pretty early NFT on a bonding curve. And we had the idea was, okay, well, let's just do pizza hash masks. We got a bunch of different artists. They all do toppings. We take them, we throw them on a pizza. Boom, we have a generative pizza collection. So that's what we did. And we raised, it was bull market. So we raised 330 ETH.
In 35 seconds.
It borderline. It was 35 days, less than that. It was so February 18th, our community formed, and I had been talking about it in like January a lot. And then but really the Discord happened February 18th, and then March 15th, we were obviously shooting for the 14th, but deadlines. And March 15th, we raised like 330 ETH. And then 2 months after that, we spent about $300,000 in, I think, about 60 countries directly at pizzerias, telling them, hey, we want to buy $625 of pizza from you. Actually, no, $500 of pizza from you. We want you to tip the staff $125, and you're just going to give it away.
That's amazing. They probably thought they were being scammed for sure somehow.
They're probably what's the catch? I'm sure. Yeah.
I mean, I learned you really have to meet people where they're at, just in any context, like in life. And so I would start my first calls to pizzerias were like, hey, we're throwing a global pizza party powered by crypto. And they would just be like, oh yeah, click. And so what I realized was what you say is, hi, I'd like to buy $500 worth of pizza, please.
Yeah, start there.
Yeah, because that's what they expect. Like, they expect you to say, I'd like to buy pizza. That's why they're answering the phone.
I've run many businesses in my life, and when someone calls and says, I'd like to buy this, then you're listening after that. Even if you're skeptical, you're like, all right, let's hear this guy out.
No, they weren't even skeptical because they, I'm buying $500 of pizza. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. But usually that's a big order, so they would give me the manager, which is who I wanted to talk to anyway. And yeah, and because I wanted to buy it for May 22nd, which was in the future. And then I would explain to the manager that we were going to buy that pizza, but the pizzeria was going to determine who ate it. And yeah, and usually starting from the we are buying this pizza, and then going into we want you to distribute it, and then adding on the the $125 tip to the staff showed that we were real.
Yeah. Did you ever get scammed by any pizzerias? I hope not, but
You know, a guy in Nicaragua, a guy in Nicaragua claimed that he had been mugged on his way from the ATM, and our Latam team did not trust him. We did not send him an additional $625. So, no shade to Nicaragua. I believe they're on the sanctions list. That's probably why. And
because of stealing pizza? Yeah, don't steal pizza. You'll end up on the terrorist list. You heard it here first.
yeah. So, no, generally, like our community was pretty careful. I think a few people like tried to scam us, but that was the only successful one as far as I know. And it's kind of amazing because we spent like $300,000 giving away pizza, and it was huge. It was amazing. It was like surreal.
It's a really good idea. Like, it's kind of one of those ideas that the first time I heard about Pizza DAO, I was like, that's actually brilliant because pizza's such a good metaphor, and you've said this before, kind of or alluded to it. It's a metaphor for the people in a way because it's like everybody loves pizza. Everybody can afford pizza.
Yes, and it's affordable. It's shareable. Like it's community in a box is my one-liner. You're not going to eat it alone. It's a big pie. If it's New York style.
Maybe.
Yeah, it depends on how down bad crypto is that week, whether you eat it alone or not.
And that could go either way too. Either you're depressed and you're eating the whole pizza, or you can't afford enough pizza and you have to split it.
Oh, yeah, true. That's one of the best origin stories we've heard on this podcast so far. I love the arc of how you came to do that, and you made it work. So tell us, like, how's it been so far? You've been doing Pizza DAO now for how many years? I guess.
So we started. No. So I started talking about Pizza DAO in January 2021. So yeah. So now. Yeah, so we are 3 global pizza parties later now. We did it in May 22nd, on May 22nd, 2021, May 22nd, 2022, and again in 23. Our biggest by far, in 2023, we did 116 parties in individual cities across 65 countries, and 9,000 people showed up, actually more than 9,000. Plus 5 metaverse locations, so really 121 places.
I was there. 1 second, I'll show you.
I was as well.
Proof of pizza. I gotta find
Proof
it
of
here.
pizza. Let's see it. And I was also. We did a pizza party here on campus, and did it as a lunch and learn with trying to onboard or at least answer questions about Bitcoin and other crypto related things. So it was really fun. Loved getting the students involved and the staff here involved, and super fun. Yeah, nice shirt.
Yeah.
I have that
Pizza.
as well.
I love that.
It's a little bit too big for me, but
that's a bootleg shirt too, right? Because we're CC0 just like Nouns. We don't care. We give our designs out. That's not even the official shirt. I like it.
that's the one they were giving out in Ottawa. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Ottawa did great on the bootlegs. So we're 3 years in. We've given away, I think, about $800,000 of pizza at this point, and I would definitely do it again.
That's a lot of dough.
The value is a lot of dough, and the value of giving away pizza, it's like I just meet somebody and we've given them what, 2 slices of pizza, maybe 4 slices of pizza, who knows, which is, depending upon where they live, that's like maybe that's $15 a pizza. And I have a friend for life.
Yeah.
Just
cheap,
from a couple pieces of
cheap.
pizza. Cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap friend for life.
I remember seeing a video once about how pizza has a really nostalgic feeling for many people, and part of the reason for that is because a lot of schools have pizza programs when you're young, and I totally relate to this because my parents were never ones to give us money for lunch. We didn't have money for that. We got a bag lunch, and it was never that great. It was like PB&J. So on pizza day, when they gave you $1 and you got to buy a slice of pizza, that was like amazing, right? So like some of my best memories from elementary school were pizza day. And I'm sure there's lots of other people from my generation, at least, like millennials, elder millennials, who totally have that association with pizza and pizza, and pizza day at school, etc.
It blows the PB&J out of the water.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%. And further to that, the company that made that pizza that we had in school is still my favorite pizza place to this day. Even though, I moved away. I moved away also, and so I can't get that brand where I live. So when I go back, I always have to get a large pizza from Greco,
That's so funny.
which anyone who's from Eastern Canada will say they love that. But anyone who's like lives there and gets it all the time, they're like, this is shitty pizza. Like it's like Papa John's, like you said, like, why are you eating this pizza? But for me, it's so good. Yeah.
So that's funny because I grew up in Massachusetts, and we have very distinct pizzas. We have the brick one, and we also have I grew up near Brockton, Mass, and it's a barroom pizza, and it's a very thin crust, this whole thing, and you can only get it there. And it's so when I go home, I do the same kind of thing. Like I go to the spa, and I go to Cape Cod Cafe, and I go to these places where this is my memory. This is my parents coming home every Friday after work, going to Cape Cod Cafe and bringing home 2 pizzas. And that was dinner every Friday. So you're right. There is some nostalgia to pizza, and most people have those memories, whatever it is. It's for the Gen Xers, it's going to Papa Gino's and playing the jukebox and going with your friends. And that also is a big memory for me. So there's a lot of memory making around pizza. It's
for
just
those watching who don't know what a jukebox is.
Yeah, I'll explain that later.
Go to magic boxes.
These magic boxes that played music. It was cool.
Like
and they'd be at each iPod booth. It was really cool.
At South Philly events, so we have an April Fool's party every year, and I have fights with the DJ every time. I've stopped hiring DJs that I don't know because they won't play the Macarena in a row as many times as I want them to, which is like at least 3.
I don't get why are you getting so precious? Why are you getting so precious?
This is my reputation. I can't just have people thinking I play the Macarena like that.
Get over yourself.
Of all songs, why?
You're here to press buttons, man.
Actually, at our last party, we played it at 3/4 speed, the Macarena, like the third time. It kind of slaps.
So this reminds me, the DJ not wanting to play Macarena 3 times in a row reminds me of one time buying a house, and it had just been painted by the painters that were referred by the realtor. And the realtor had double-ended this deal. So he had basically represented the seller and the buyer. So his painters had come in and painted the whole thing white. And we came in and we were like, we don't want it white. We want it, to be a different color. So he sent us the same painters again. The painter's like, I'm not painting this again. I just painted this. We're like, okay, but we're going to pay you to paint it again. He's like, no, he walked out. You wouldn't paint the house again. I'm like, why? I don't understand.
I understand.
I do get it, but he's like, I'm not painting this thing again. All right.
It's like, it's about meaning, right? Like people do work for money, but it's about meaning too. Like I did this already, and this is going to be painful to do it again.
I get it. I guess for him, it's like, the computer crashed and he lost his essay, and then writing that essay again, even though you've already done it and it's going to be easier the next time, it doesn't matter. It doesn't feel good.
And often comes out better, but yeah, it still sucks.
Oh my God.
100%.
That's so funny.
I don't know how we got here.
I don't know either,
right.
But I just know the next time I'm at a Bitcoin pizza party, a Pizza DAO party with Snax, I am really looking forward to dancing the Macarena with you. It's going to be
We've never played it. Actually, so we have a house band, called Pizza Collection, who they're members of the DAO. They have 5 NFTs, and they're tremendous. I don't know if they have done the Maca Pizza.
They're gonna have
that's in Peru, right?
It's right near Maca Pizza. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, their body of work, they have like 200 parodies, right? So they do like Rod Stewart is one of my favorites. Have I told you lately I'm a pizza? Like, really, really great tracks, or like Under the Cheese, but so many and really expertly produced. So yeah,
this is why Pizza DAO and Nouns get along so well. It's all about the puns.
Yeah, this is quickly becoming our most unhinged episode of the podcast.
Okay, you want to hear something kind of unhinged? So I met a guy in Vietnam who, well, he was in the middle of telling me that he like got his ear almost bitten off by this guy he got in a fight with at a balloon bar, which is anyway, let's move on though. The next thing he told me was that he needed a visa to live there, right? And so what did he start to do? He started a business growing tomatoes, and he didn't know really how to do anything with tomatoes. And so he met me from Pizza DAO, and he was like, "Oh my God, you can help me to produce pizza sauce and distribute it across all of Southeast Asia." So I think Pizza DAO may be distributing 150 tons of pizza sauce in the relatively near future. It's just like, just crazy. It just feels unhinged, right? Like,
actually, you know what? To that point, I know you've talked about this before about helping small businesses move into the space and to really find ways to do that better. I'd love it if you could, sort of dig into that whole thought process. It kind of relates to what you just mentioned.
Yeah. So, I mean, I came to this pizza concept, right, from like, I'm actually gluten and dairy free. It's like the dirty secret. And I used to think it was a liability, but it's actually just hilarious. And because it's just another story. And we traffic in stories here. So this has always been, for me, about community ownership. And I've actually lately kind of cracked the code on why. And that's because what conglomerates do in our world is that they extract wealth from small communities. And then they silo that wealth in large organizations that have their hands tied by bureaucracy, and ultimately it's executive dysfunction that keeps this money just kind of sitting there, because it's these people. Any person even the person at the top of a corporate pyramid, can only make so many decisions in a day. So when I look at my neighborhood, I see that happening, and they're paying their employees poorly, and they're using crappy ingredients, and they're extracting wealth. And I think we want to lock wealth in communities, because that's how we build culture. Like that's like and we love culture. We love humans. We want people to be self-actualized and beautiful and exciting and funny, because they are, if you let them. So Pizza DAO. So I wanted to have community ownership of small business, and over time, that mission has not shifted, but like has kind of taken more form as we figure out maybe how to do it. And I realized that owning a business is actually complex, because if the proprietor of a pizzeria decides not to operate the pizzeria anymore, then if you invested in it as a neighborhood, like maybe you get rugged, and we don't want that. But if you, as a neighborhood, work with the pizzeria, and what you do is you buy out the landlord, I think it's a lot simpler. So that's how we're looking at it these days. And I said we traffic in stories. There's a very popular story that is very similar that people really catch on to immediately, which is I have my name tag right here. So McDonald's is a real estate company that offers burger solutions. And I think Pizza DAO can be a real estate organization that offers pizza solutions.
That's interesting. That reminds me of a story of Berkshire Hathaway. They bought up a bunch of Kmart stock when they were in receivership all of a sudden. And people are like, what are you doing? This company's literally in bankruptcy, and they're going under. But what had happened is they had run the math, and they'd realized that all of the leaseholds that Kmart held across America were worth more just in property value than the market cap of the stock at that time. So like, this is a property play at this point. And they were right. Kmart did survive almost solely because of that, for a while anyway. I don't know if do you guys still have Kmart? Anyways,
Yeah.
they survived for a while.
At least the ones near me are gone. I don't know if they're still around.
Yeah.
In the past couple of years.
I always thought that was interesting, kind of a neat Warren Buffett story.
Totally. And so realizing that, I think we really cracked the code. And I realized it because I watched The Founder for the second time, which is a great movie. I'm a big Michael Keaton fan, and it's just a fun movie, and it's an interesting story. So that's now required viewing for Pizza DAO members, and and No Crash is required reading, the Neil Stephenson book. Do you have a syllabus
kind of where we can get a hold of?
I was going to say, we're getting homework. I'm supposed to be giving out the homework, Snax, not you. But I love
Well,
it.
you
I love
can
it.
pass this on to your students.
Professor Snax. Yes, those are great recommendations. Actually, both of those, fantastic.
Yeah, really interesting stuff. So now that's kind of how we're looking at it. We go to pizzeria and we say, do you own your property? Which they normally don't. And then we go to the landlord and we say, actually, I have a funny story about this. We go to the landlord, we ask if they're willing to sell, and then we see what the pizzeria can contribute. We see what the pizzeria's friends and fans can contribute, and then Pizza DAO makes up the rest. And then we give the pizzeria even a way to buy us out. So ultimately, the pizzeria is sovereign. Like, we're meant to be. When I say we're a franchise, I don't mean that we're a franchise like we want to be a consumer-facing one. It's that we want to actually be a model for every type of business to do the same thing. So there's no reason that, like, if we're successful, look, taquerias could do this, nail salons could do this, really any kind of business.
So what's the basis of the franchise? What do you guys do differently that a normal landlord doesn't?
So, well, first we cut in the business owner. Like, we are only going to acquire property occupied by good pizzerias who want to own part of the property. And that aligns us, right? That really aligns our incentives. The pizzeria is going to treat the land really well. We really want the pizzeria to succeed because they're paying the rent. And we cut the community in. So they're going to treat their pizza really well, and they're going to patronize it. And I think it's just this really wholesome kind of network that we can build there. And then we can come back and say, hey, do you need open source software to run your small business? It doesn't cost anything. Maybe you pay us like maybe you pay like, not even us, like maybe we have some people who can implement it, kind of like Red Hat did for Linux. And
which is kind of funny, by the way, Snax, because that's one of the ways that most franchises nickel and dime their franchisees, is by then selling them all these systems that they need to run their business in the first place. Like, oh, you need a POS system? Well, here you go.
Yeah. And so we don't want to hold them over the coals. We want to maybe implement a POS system, but then it's theirs. Like, if it's open source, then again, it's about sovereignty, right? I think crypto is kind of about sovereignty. It's about saving communities from the forces of conglomerization.
One of the things that's been lost, and I think you kind of touched on this earlier, but it's been lost from days of yore, is like having these restaurants that become community fixtures that people are like, oh yeah, that's Joe's. It's been there since 1930, and it's always going to be there. But that kind of got lost somewhere along the way, especially the pandemic didn't help. And now there's like lots of places, at least in my city, where it was a pizza place, and now it's a shawarma shop, and now it's a money mart, and it becomes less and less of a community spot as time goes on. And so what I like about your model that you're talking about is that it's like, instead of it just being, this is a place set up to make as much money as possible from whatever we could put there that will make the most money. Instead, it's like, this is a place for pizza. Whoever can come and do the pizza the best can be here. And maybe if Joe retires and he doesn't want to, and his sons don't want to take over Joe's, well, that doesn't matter because someone else from the community can come in and run it. Anyway, I think it's cool that you're kind of preserving that tie between community and business.
And like you said, I mean, you have these strong connections, these strong memories with your local pizzeria growing up, and that is a part of your mind. That is a part of your life. And taking that from people is it unmoors people. And when we're living, like, life is a pursuit of meaning. And we want there to be rich meaning for everybody, like all over the place. And these kinds of, keeping stuff where it is good for lore building.
So have you have been able to implement this yet, or is this still a work in progress?
So we're really looking at 2024. Yeah. We're not in a rush to buy, we want it to be the right property. So I have a funny story. So I was looking for, there's this guy from East Miami, really nice guy. He's like, He's a real estate guy, and he started looking at properties in the Philly area for us to purchase. He found this place, Old English style pizza, which, like, what is that? I don't know. Old English style pizza. And so I went there, and I went in and I said, so, you're selling, is the owner here? And he said, we're not selling. That listing in your picture, that has one story. This is a 2-story building. So it was the wrong Old English style pizza.
There's more than one?
Exactly. Hilarious. So I said, okay, but the owner of the building is next door. His name's Meng. So I went next door. I talked to Meng. I said, would you consider selling this? He said, yeah, maybe like, 400,000 or so. But the pizzeria owner has the first option, which is music to my ears. That's what I want. But he doesn't have the liquidity. Okay, well, maybe we can help. And then I went to the other Old English style pizza. It turned out the one that I went to by mistake was way better. And so, a funny accent.
So now the decision is we have to test your pizza first before we have any business decisions, which I think is a strong way to go. Strong way to go. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And I know that you mentioned open source software, and I know that's something you've talked about before, is finding ways for small businesses to really maximize, minimize their expenses, maximize the profit by different things like that. And I know you've gone to the pizza show in Vegas. There's a pizza show, Toady. There's a pizza show. So
I'd rather go to that than the car show, to be honest.
Right? It's amazing, right? I want to go. Can you talk a little bit about some plans there in terms of like other ways that you're thinking about helping the small businesses and finding ways that Pizza DAO can be instrumental there?
Yeah, so there's Pizza Expo in Vegas, and there's the Pizza and Pasta Expo in Atlantic City. We've gone to both. Most pizzerias can't go, right? Like they work hard. Like a pizzeria owner works like 60, 80 hours a week in some cases. And they don't have the luxury of attending these things. So their technology and really everything about the business, it stagnates. Which in some cases is like nice, they're still using their old Baker's Pride oven, and that's like a special thing. But we go there, and so one thing we can help these people with is like, hey, this is what's out there. But the other thing I learned when I'm out there is that, how many point of sale systems are there? How many delivery systems are there? How many? And they're all kind of building the same thing. Yeah, they're all kind of building the same thing, and their product becomes marketing. Right. And the more somebody's spending on marketing, like usually the less they're spending on their product.
Also, most of them represent both meanings of POS quite well.
Correct. And in my opinion, the software that runs a restaurant, that runs a pizzeria, like it's not like you have to reinvent the wheel every time. It's a pretty commodity type of a thing. So it seems really ripe for that to be an open source thing. And it's a problem of coordination, like most things on earth, right? We say a lot, there's no pizza scarcity problem. It's a pizza distribution problem. And yeah, and this is true, but I think, most things are not scarcity problems on earth. They're distribution problems. And like in the case of independent pizzerias and coordination, they've been talking about building some kind of like a overarching network that they can coordinate and collaborate within for decades. But it's really hard to build community, first of all, let alone to come to accord on stuff. And like I said, these guys, they're like pizzeria owners. They work really hard. So we can come in and we can actually help them to align. And I mean, the amount of money that they each spend per month on the various softwares that they're getting from the various vendors could fund an incredible piece of open source software that they would be sovereign with. It would just work. And when they needed to fix stuff, they would pay once and then it would be fixed.
This is what excited me the most about Nouns Deli, and I wanted to ask you about that.
Bones actually submitted our prop with me. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. So, I mean, I love what they're doing because the idea of like turning the franchise on its head, which is a lot of what you've been talking about, and saying like, what if we just offered all of these systems as a public good instead of as a profit center? You know, what could happen with the brand, and could that bring back value to the brand in other ways? So I love that you guys are also experimenting with that same question.
100%. And the thing is, if you build open source software to run pizzerias, like, it's not so different from running almost any other type of small retail business.
Yeah, between pizzerias and sandwich places, that's like, I swear to God, that's got to be like 70% of fast food in North America. Like, I think Subway is the most popular fast food restaurant in North America. And then if you combine all of the pizzerias, though, they probably take the top spot. I wouldn't be surprised.
Right. And we mean this to be a model. You know, it can be used for any business.
I love that. And I was thinking the same thing, Tody, with the deli. And I've talked to Bones about, Deli DAO and different ways that we can help, create that franchise. And I use that in the, loosely, not in a legal term.
If you're in Deli DAO, no deli dallying around, though. Okay,
no deli dallying around, and no delegating, and none of that. No, just kidding. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a great way to, again, like thinking about, crypto changing the world. And I saw your tweet recently about that. Like, if you're still here, this is why you should still be here. And if you're not here for that, this is a good time to leave.
GTFO.
Exactly.
Like, you can make money in Web 2 still.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to go make money in Web, if you just want to make money, there's other places to do that. If you want to change the world, this is the place to be. And I also always, one of the things I always say about pizza, it's like, who has a more clear mission for a DAO than Pizza DAO? Like, it's very crystal clear about what you're doing, and that focus, I think, is so important. And then you just tie in a meme on top of it, and there you go.
I think
just
that
flow.
I think that like inadvertently touches on the reason why many of us who aren't joining the fork that's currently ongoing in Nouns, how we feel about Nouns. Because I mean, rationally, of course, we should probably all join the fork, and
No,
just let me finish here. So we should take rationally, economically, this is why people are doing it. I'll just take the fork and then I'll buy back later. But those of us who aren't, is because we believe that we're here to do something other than just make money out of a pixel. Like, we're here to change the world, like you said, to do something different, and that's what attracted us to Nouns. And when we got our dream noun, at least in my case, it was like, okay, bam, I'm staked in the protocol and I'm a part of this. I'm
still waiting. I'm still waiting. I don't have my dream now.
And some of your dream nouns have ended up in the treasury, so now you can try to liberate them.
No, we don't. No, I will not ask.
And Noun 292, I mean, Noun 292 is my dream noun. It's Pizza DAO's dream noun. It is a noun. It has a pizza head and it has a we shirt. And what I've been saying lately is, do you know what we stands for?
No.
Whole Earth.
Ooh.
Oh, amazing. I love that. Whole Earth pizza.
I love it.
Amazing.
The whole Earth needs to eat some pizza, especially on May 22nd every year.
I just realized the connection with the Buzz earrings just now with Pizza Planet and everything. I didn't make that connection before. Hey, there you go. Coordinating. Is this what they mean when they say coordinate your outfit, right?
Yeah.
I've been wearing this vest for 10 years every day.
That's amazing. That's actually a secret unlock. It's a secret alpha from Snax and Patricio from POAP. Signature outfit makes it a lot easier to get dressed in the morning.
It also, it becomes your trademark. You can become known for it. So it's it's fun. I love your vest. It's so fun, especially when you see you in person.
Oh my God, you wouldn't believe. Speaking of fun, so I have this new prop in my vest, which I got from this prop comic that I met in a dumpster, and so check it out. So these are magnetic darts, and they so. Yeah.
So don't be alarmed if he throws something at your pins or your metal things. Don't be alarmed. It's fine.
Yeah.
No. I give them to someone and I say, here, it's a carnival game. I'm a walking carnival game.
Well, I mean, I don't have as much flair as you, but someday.
You're right. Can you guess how many pieces I have?
Gotta work on your flair.
How many pieces of flair? I bet your manager at Chotchkie's would be super happy with you.
Do you know how many, though? It's a specific number, an important number.
69?
Oh, close. But
42.
It's another important number.
420.
Yep, that is it. 42.
42.
42.
Okay.
I keep steady at 42.
Amazing.
Yes.
All right. Is
Very
that because
specific.
it's the meaning of life? Is that
I believe
the
it's
meaning of
42.0, right?
Yes, 42. It's the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. In fact, Wilson, when he sold me Noun 292, we actually had a handshake agreement at 40 ETH. And I told him, I'm going to pay you 42.
I love it. He was like, no.
only in this space does somebody go, no, wait, that's not enough. Let me give you a little more.
Well,
For the culture. For the culture.
Well, Snax was like, I'm going to give you 42. Negotiation.
This is why I interrupted you when you said like the rational thing to do would be to take the money and run. And no, money's not rational. Money's made up.
That's very true. Yeah. Well, so I'm coming from like an economics terminology there of like economical rational action. But what word should we use instead?
That's not real.
I agree with you. No, it's true. I agree with you 100%.
People are not economically rational. It's not. It's made up. It's just a way for economists to get paid.
Wait, are you saying that all economists are just TA people? Is that what you're saying? It's all just made up lines on the graph?
I mean, I'm saying that as a mathematician, we did not necessarily always completely respect the economics department.
I'm gonna say nothing because they can hear me. They're like right there.
I mean, there is a reason why the economics economics department is a soft science. So that's all you need to know, I guess.
Exactly. And
So
when I say, when I push back on the rationality of money, it's because like there's nothing rational about money. Look at our world.
So okay, so it's not rational, but it is fear-based, which is very very primal in humans. So that's what I'm seeing a lot of. I'm seeing a lot of fear of the unknown and fear of uncertainty causing people to join the fork. And so maybe that's a better framing, is that it's like a primal fear rather than a rational act.
Be really interesting to study those who stay versus those who leave and try to find those threads of like, alignment of why. And I think there's something to, it does not surprise me in the least that you're not leaving. Like it would have shocked me if you said I'm out. Right. It does. It just, and there's something a little.
We are not
forking leaving.
No.
And there's something a little crazy there, but there's also this. It's a good kind of crazy to me. It is like an optimistic belief in the future can be better. And I was doing the interview with the Nouns doc team from Stupid Buddy, and that was something that they noticed as they did interviews with people in Nouns, was that we're kind of at the intersection of frustration and hope. And I thought that was really an interesting way to put it. And I feel like that's exactly where we are right now.
Yeah,
and there's others who are just like too scared, and they can't take that uncertainty, and they have to go.
Hope is when you're putting your prop up, and frustration is afterwards. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I mean, and money, like, one thing money does is it's like, life is scary, right? It's scary. Like there are a lot of bad things that can happen. And money is one of those things that solve problems. But I think friends actually solve more problems than money. And friends are recession-proof.
It's the friends we made along the way. It really was.
Most friends. Most friends are recession-proof.
I've always thought that making friends was way more important than making money.
Yeah, for sure. Well, have you seen 4156's tweets recently where he talks about how he's going to stop using the word meme value overall and use the word network value as sort of the contrast to the book value narrative of Nouns? It's like Nouns is about making friends, making connections, building with people that you're aligned with in values, and that's the value of joining the network.
I mean, I give away a Nouns pin now at every Pizza DAO event. I do a raffle, and I give away a Nouns pin. And people are so happy to get an announcement, and think about the strength of wearing an announcement out in the world. Like, and I think these guys, these book value folks, these maybe they didn't quite know what they were buying. And we saw this with Cryptopunks, right? I've held Cryptopunks for a long time, and I always knew that I was buying a right to be a respected builder, and I had to live up to it. And if I didn't, and if that wasn't what I was doing, then like, what was I doing? Having a CryptoPunk, like what was the point? So when we look at Nouns, like this is a movement, and I'm on the ground. I'm on the ground at the conferences. Like, this month I was in Seoul, I was in Saigon, I was in Singapore. Now I'm in Berlin. I'll be in Lisbon for 3 days, and then I'll be back in New York. And we'll be doing pizza parties at all of them. And the recognition and the joy, the love that I feel for Nouns, it is very real. It's very real. And some people who maybe are like too busy looking at spreadsheets of values instead of spreadsheets of people and spreadsheets of communities, like I am all the time, don't necessarily know that. But on the ground,
you're just looking at spreadsheets of pizza all day long.
You should look at the spreadsheet of pizza, parties.pizzadao.xyz. It's wild. But like,
it's a big spreadsheet.
It's a big spreadsheet, but Nouns are winning. Noggles are winning. This is a strong meme. It's a strong network, and there is no better vanguard for this movement that we are all building together. And like, it may but not be Nouns owners that care, and that's fine, because it's grassroots that matters.
Yeah, I love that. What are the responses that you see to the Noggles and to the Noun story when you're going to all these places all over the world and sharing that message alongside the Pizza DAO?
So number one, Nouns DAO is a tremendous example of a DAO. Like, if you got Nouns DAO and Pizza DAO in your quiver and you're trying to explain DAOs, boom. It's very easy. It's really fun. People get it. And it's like, okay, great. Because we need those examples. We desperately need those in the ecosystem. So when I see people, and I'm not going to bash the forkers. People have lots of reasons, but rising tide lifts all boats, and everyone in this space should want Nouns to succeed. Like, if Nouns succeeds, oh my God, is that great for everybody? And I think it's succeeding already, and I think it's going to succeed.
I think the fork is good for Nouns.
I'm so excited for post-fork Nouns. And South Silly, believe it or not, is on its third iteration. My Facebook group, and like, the first one got deleted by a rogue admin. The second one got grifted, and I just made a new one each time, and it got better every time because it winnowed now I barely have to moderate this 13,000 person group. Like, I don't do anything. And you go and you scroll, it is all signal. It's, what do I do about my landlord? It's, do you want my couch? My cat got out. Where do I go to make friends? Like, and that is a testament to the strength of forking. It really works. This community is going to be stronger. We're going to be able to do way more fun stuff. I have a really fun thing I want to do. So, Five, Pavel from who lives in Korea, good friend of mine, because we both love StarCraft 2. Actually, he prefers Brood War, but it's okay. We've been playing a lot. We have this server called We Require More Minerals, where we're getting all the Web3 StarCraft nerds in together, and we've been hanging out for months. And so when I got to Korea, like, we were so excited to hang out, and we had a wonderful time. And he told me his hilarious idea, which is so we went to Kiev, Seoul, which is kind of like Art Basel, and the idea is that we're going to put up a prop to take. I think we should get $1 million, and we're going to take $1 million, and we're going to go to Art Basel, and we're going to get a squad of us like Reservoir Dogs wearing red noggles, and we're going to walk through Art Basel, and we're going to look around like this. with the art curator face, you know, no smiles. Very sophisticated art curators, okay? And we're going to spend that money on art. Good art. We're just going to buy it. We're going to buy all the pixel art that's on the floor, every single piece, and then some other stuff that we like. And then we're going to take it and we're going to make a gallery, probably in New York, you know, who knows where. We're going to put big red noggles right out front, you know, on the marquee of the gallery, and we're going to hang the art inside, and we're going to flip it.
I love it. Pixel flippers.
And we'll put it back in the treasury. And this is a way to get the art community to respect us. I think it's a way to add provenance to art, and it's going to be freaking hilarious.
How do I apply to be a curator? I want to come.
You have red noggles. It looks like. I think that's all you got to do.
Already halfway there.
Yeah,
halfway
amazing.
there.
We did a proof of concept, and we did it, and it looks so funny. It is so funny.
I can see it. It's like flash mob energy as well, a little bit. Everybody can't help but look at a group that all looks the same.
Absolute scene. And all these folks respect at those arts. I mean, they respect money. You know, they want to. Are you going to buy this art or not?
Yeah. Well, look at the
We'll
biggest
buy it.
meme from last art, Basel. Was that the ATM? Remember, where
Mhm.
people would go up to the ATM and it would show your Ethereum balance to everybody. Remember that? And it would show you on your
I don't
leaderboard.
remember.
It was all over TikTok and all over a lot of videos.
And I think the forkers are going to look back and be disappointed they did it. Some of them, a lot of them.
I'm ecstatic that you're going to be on this journey with us. And I the other meme we need is Thelma and Louise in the car going over the cliff, Noggles on the side. We're all in the car, and it's going to.
No, that's not. No. I wouldn't make that meme. I don't think that's. I think this is. I'm so excited. This is like, for me, Nouns always had too much money.
Yeah, and not enough alignment.
They had too much money. It didn't need that much. It was like 50 million is a successful exit for most companies. So where was the hunger? Where was the ambition? Like, it already won. It hamstrung the organization. Having less money is a blessing.
I like that. And I think
I like
also
the framing.
the implicit trade also is that we're trading the money for more alignment, which is what every DAO wants and needs, right? So obviously it's good for people to disagree and have different ideas, but like when the alignment is so off, like it had been for the last year, you can't get anything done. You can't build anything with any conviction. So trading that increased alignment that hopefully we'll see for half the treasury, no brainer trade.
And we know about alignment at Pizza DAO. I mean, yeah, we all do it for free, basically. Like, we pay our employee, our community. You know, they're not employees. They're just like, we pay our community, like oh my god, just enough to show that we really respect and value them, but like not nearly enough for what they've done. I mean, and so that, you know, it's kind of a rough thing where like you can only be sure someone really wants to do something if they'll do it for free.
I think a lot of us have done, you know, I was thinking about, there was something about, you know, civic duty and how many hours a lot of us have done, you know, things within Nouns out of passion, you know, hundreds and hundreds of, you know, volunteer hours, if you will, because it's so important to us. And, you know, you're working on your own projects or helping people with props. I can't even count the number of hours I've spent helping people with props for, you know, no pay. And happy to do it, especially when it goes through, you know, like it's exciting. It's fun. I enjoy doing it, but it's also, we have to figure out other ways to, you know, support that and encourage that. And, you know, and I think to your point too, Tody, that I've been hesitant to even bring people forward in the past year, like to talk to them about doing something with the Nouns. It's been a difficult conversation at times. So I feel like post fork, that'll be a little bit easier too, to find those other Lucas in the world who are really interested in Nouns and have some cool ideas, or to find the other builders who are, you know, big in their individual space, but maybe haven't come this way to Web3, and see how we can bridge that and bring them in. So it's, you know, exciting.
I think a lot of people are going to look back at Nouns and like even 2 or 3 months from now, they're going to be like, oh, you guys are still Wow, you guys are
You
still
still
doing
here?
this? You still have this energy?
still
You still
here?
have this? You still have
Yeah.
all this money? You still have all this energy? You still have all these amazing things that you're working on? I put up a meme recently about how likening it to like the Grinch looking down on the Who's and being like how are they still celebrating Christmas?
Why are they
I
still
thought I
doing
stole
Christmas?
And most people, you gotta understand, most people in the ecosystem who have positive associations with the Noggles, who like what Nouns is doing, who they don't know about the fork even, maybe. Like they don't pay attention. They don't know what the props are. They like the cute Noggles. They like the energy of the people that they see wearing the stuff. And Nouns rolls on.
Yep.
To me, that's why the Nouns with Pizza DAO was such a perfect alignment to have the Noggles at a pizza party. It just is such a great pairing because it is so fun. People love them. They get excited. It just creates another level of energy to an event like that I think it was just a perfect perfect alignment. And I hope that we get to do something like that again next year.
I have 50 Noggles, actually. I have 50 paper Noggles for our Berlin event tomorrow.
Well, I have
Awesome.
1,000 at my house, so let me know if you need more.
Whoa,
Me
guys,
too.
it's not a
Me too.
Noggle-off.
I have 1,000 at my house. I do.
I have 2,000. I have 2,000 in my garage.
Oh. Yeah, no, Big Shot keeps pestering me. He's like, are you sure they're not going to throw them away at the post office? No, Big Shot, that's their job. They're going to hold them there for me. That's why I have a P.O. box. It's okay.
That's their job.
That's their one job.
Mind
You know, in
you,
Snow Crash,
anyway,
that's like, in Snow Crash, that's all the United States government does anymore in that future. Like, it's just the Postal Service.
That wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing.
All right. Well, we have to ask this. Of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't. What's your favorite pizza?
Gluten-free, no cheese, pepperoni, spinach, and black olives.
That's it. Can't say I agree, but I have a couple different go-tos. I mean, I'm a big fan of a meat lovers. I like just a nice meaty pizza. But I also just really like that combo of like chicken barbecue sauce, kind of bacon situation. Sometimes you get that pizza. That's a good one. One thing I will say though is definitely no pineapple on pizza. I'm sorry to put my foot down, but it's
actually not bad.
wrong. It's not great. Oh, I've had it because
it's okay.
It originated in Canada. It's not great.
Wait, let me give you an official Pizza Mafia name. What's your favorite Mafia movie?
My favorite Mafia movie? Let's go with the original Godfather. No, hold on. The Departed. Does that count?
Ooh, interesting choice. Yeah, nice choice.
As a meat lovers pizza aficionado and a Departed fan, you are Meats Costello.
Ooh, Meats Costello. I like it. I'll put that here. Your host, Meats Costello. But let's do Prof now then. Prof, what's your favorite?
Yeah.
I think officially in the Discord, I am Prof Pizza or Pizza Prof. That's what I am.
Yeah. But if you want the new formula, let's see.
No, the new formula. I mean, I have to go with The Godfather, like 100%.
Okay.
And
yeah.
But The Departed was a nice choice. Nice little Boston tip there. And cheese. I'm boring as anything. I am cheese pizza classic, and not Chicago style. I am like New York and Boston pizza, and that's it. So.
Funny enough, I don't think we have it. Yeah, I don't think we have a cheese Corleone. Oh, I'm sorry. We do have a cheese Corleone. So you know what that means? Cheese Corleone has just been promoted to Cheese Corleone Senior. You are Cheese Corleone Junior.
Nice.
Oh, congratulations.
Right. I love it. That's my new name now. I'm going to go change my my name in the pizza server.
What's your Pizza Mafia name, Snax?
So I'm Enzo Pepperoni.
Enzo Pepperoni. I knew that. Enzo Pepperoni.
Amazing.
So you get these questions. So my students went into the Pizza DAO Discord because they were going to put in a proposal. I said, go talk to them, see if they'll sponsor your event. When we were doing event, creating the video that they were doing with all the Noggles and everything. And the first questions they were getting was, what's your favorite Mafia movie and what's your favorite pizza? And they were like, what? Where are we? What is happening? They were like, are we supposed to be doing this? Is this right? They were so confused and it was hilarious.
You know, one
was
of the
amazing.
best pizzas I ever had actually was at the pizza event this year in Ottawa. I'd never had pizza from that
Wow.
pizzeria before, but it was really, really good. And they had one of the pizzas was like just really, really thin pepperoni, cheese, and then like honey dipped hot peppers. There are hot
Ooh.
peppers dipped
Wow.
Ooh.
in honey, but oh, it was so good, man. I was going back for seconds and thirds. How can people get more involved in Pizza DAO if they want to check out what you guys are building and they might want to get involved? What's the best way?
So, well, our discord.gg/Pizza DAO. We have a community call every Sunday at 1 p.m. And so please come, hang out, meet us. We also have Pizza DAO chapters in 124 cities and counting, I want to say. So more likely than not, there's a Pizza DAO chapter in your city. And if there isn't, then we want to start one. And what a chapter means is like there's going to be a pizza party on May 22nd, which means we are giving you a minimum of $625 towards throwing a pizza party.
Seems like a good deal. So if you are in a city that does not have a Pizza DAO chapter, be the change you want to see in the pizza world. You can start a chapter and have a free pizza party funded by Pizza DAO just for organizing it. And then anything you do up and above that is like a bonus, right? Awesome. Well, this was really fun chat. We should do it again sometime. I love Nouns. I love Pizza DAO, and I can tell you do both of those things as well. So thanks so much, Snax. This was awesome. And have an awesome time. Have a good pizza party, and we'll see you at the next one.
Can't wait. See ya.